Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see, we're in the garage. We will be pulling the Silverado in here shortly, and today's video is going to be a partnership with Boost Auto. They are a company that makes, mirrors, electronic parts, and all kinds of things from, I know they make them for Chevy, GMC. I even think I saw a Dodge and Ford on their website, so I think they make a bunch of truck parts, but I have known them for the GMT 800, so my old 2005 GMC Sierra 2500. I was aware they made parts for that. I know they make the NBS, I don't think they make any OBS parts, but so I definitely have known about their company for a while because I was actually looking at their mirrors for my old truck. But obviously that truck has been sold, and so what we'll be putting in today is a wireless phone charger. Does my truck already have one? Yes, it does. Where this goes on the center console. So if you guys can see, here's the kit. You've got your charging pad, you've got a wire harness, you've got a wire tap, and that will tie into the back. And I think that's going to be about it. Oh, and there's some hardware here for the charging pad. So Boost Auto reached out to me to actually do a set of their mirrors on my truck. As you guys know, I've got a 22 Silverado ZR2. And unfortunately, I have the technology package. So their mirrors do not have any of the cameras or anything like that built in, so I was not really interested in losing that functionality because I use it all the time. Now, if I did not have that technology package, yeah, I'd definitely be, wanting to work with these guys for a new set of mirrors on the truck. But kind of like I said, since we have that technology package, we started discussing other products. So I'd known about this charging pad that they had for the center console, and I was like, hey, you know what? Let's see if they'll want to do a video about that, and they agreed. So I'm guessing they saw one of my ZR2 videos, whether it was on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it was, and they reached out to me, and yeah, so here we are. So want to welcome Boost Auto to the channel. So yeah, now that we've got the intro out of the way, let's go ahead and get this opened up. All right, so they have broken this down into three components. One is the charging pad itself. It's got a little wire harness. The second part is going to be the main harness for the job. One end will plug into the charging pad right there. The other end has a black power plug, and that will plug into here, which is the gray power plug. And this harness will use these two T-taps, and that will actually tie into the harness that connects into the USB charger. Now, guys, our install will be slightly different because I actually already have an adapter harness on that USB plug. So I will not be modifying the truck harness at all. I'll actually be tying into that jumper harness that we have for our auxiliary switch kit that we got from 404 Parts. And I will have a link to that video up above if you guys are interested in the auxiliary switches. So yeah, this shouldn't take too long. We just got to take the back of the center console apart, put a harness in, put these T-taps in, run this. There are two holes we'll have to drill. One will be through the backing plate, if that makes sense, of the center console, and one will be through where the cup holders is, because you have to run this harness through that little cup holder part. And so yes, there'll be one hole we're drilling into a part that you will be able to see, but you're gonna have a power cord going through it, and it's at the very back of the center console. So you're really never going to see it because you have to, have a way of getting power from the back through the center console, through the lid, and to the charging pad. So, all right guys, we're gonna start this install by actually taking out the cup holders. And to do that, all you really have to do is put your thumb on it and start peeling it back and pull it toward you. So if you're looking at this front piece, pull it toward the back. If you're in the back, pull it toward the front. And eventually you will get the whole thing out, and that is your rubber liner. And now this will allow us to remove the top bracket here. This is a T15 Torx, and yeah, so there's one there, and that should be it for the top panel. Then we'll pop that off with a trim removal tool. All right, then all you have to do is basically, I just pulled up on it and it came out. So pull up on that, and that will expose the back of the cup holder, and then that should allow us to get to this back panel. And I think all we have to do is pull it toward us. Oh, actually, nope, there's another screw here. T15 right here at the top. Oh, and on another note, our LED footwell lights are still doing well. I haven't had any issues with those, and if you guys are interested in that video, I'll have a link to that video up above as well. All right, we got this top T20 pulled out, and kind of like I said, it's just be able to pull it towards you, and this will come out. All right, and then they do want you to pop this little gray connector out here, but honestly, guys, I don't really need to do that because I've got this jumper harness like we said. So the factory harness will be this one. It's got the purple, yellow, and black. Now, in the instructions in the video that I saw that Boost Auto put out, their colors were different, so they were very specific. Go by the pin location, not the color, because the color can be different. So, you know, that's interesting that the factory color is, you know, purple, yellow, and black. Our jumper harness is red, yellow, and black. And their install video, they wanted you to tap into the red and the black. So that's just very interesting that the jumper harness I got from another company is the right colors, but the factory colors are different. So yeah, so we're gonna disconnect this jumper harness. We will pull back some of this Tessa tape, and we'll go ahead and add those T-taps. All right, guys, we have pulled back the Tessa tape that was on there, and kind of like I said, we're gonna wanna use the red wire and the black wire. Red will be power, black will be ground. And our adapter harness here has a tap for red for power, black for ground. So match up red to red, black to black. But again, make sure you're 100% careful on this. All right, so we got the taps added, the red and black. As you can see, I just used a pair of pliers to tighten them down when I put them in. So let's go ahead and get this adapter harness installed. And again, match red to red, black to black. Just be 100% careful to get the colors right. All right, so we got our T-taps installed. We got the adapter harness installed. Like I said, red to red, black to black in our case. I am going to go ahead and tape this little section back up with new Tessa tape. Then I think we should be able to put this back part back on the console. All right, so we got the harness taped back up, kind of like I said, and we're gonna plug this back in. So plug the factory harness into the jumper harness, kind of like so. Clip that in. We're going to clip this in down here on the USB port, kind of like here. And there you go. So from now on, our install should be the exact same as if you had a factory truck. But what we're going to do now is plug the gray plug from our power port. We're going to plug that into this black plug right here, and we should just slide right in. So, all right, that's plugged in. They're going to want us to tape this off. All right, we have wrapped up the install in the back. Then everything else, you kind of just want to make sure it doesn't hit the HVAC vent. So I have that jumper harness for the auxiliary switch. That's up on this side. So just make sure it's not hitting this HVAC channel right there on both sides. So make sure your cables are out of the way of that. And, you know, all the mounting tabs, because there are mounting tabs on both sides. So just make sure that all of your wiring is not hitting any of that. And then go ahead and, you know, very lightly start pressing the tabs in. All right, so you can see we've moved up front. We're going to want to remove this rubber center strip. So just find a corner, lift up on it, and peel that up, and this will be going bye-bye. The next thing we have to do is remove the bottom part of the lid. So we're going to close the latch with your fingers, and then you want to use a trim tool to pull it from right here. So, you know, close the latch, pull this down, and this back part should come off. So I got my fingers in here, I closed the latch, and as you guys can see, we are starting to be able to pull this off, and this should hopefully come out. I don't see any. There you go, that should be it. So there you go, we've removed the bottom part of the lid. Get that out of the way, and we're gonna have to take some more screws off. I believe these are T15s down here, and then up here on the latch assembly, we're going to take some screws off there. I think there's 2 there, so yeah. All right, guys, you'll notice we got the latch assembly off. That was held in by 3 screws. I also took out the 4 screws holding in this top piece. So there's 4 screws over there for that trim piece, and then there's 3 screws for the latch. And the other secret was, you guys can see these like pipes kind of sticking up. I actually just started pushing on those a little bit, and the top trim piece just started to pull out. So what I'll show you on the bottom here, you see these little pipe pieces? There's what, 5 or 6 of them? I just pushed on them ever so slightly, and the whole trim piece just started kind of rising out of the center console top. All right, guys, we have securely attached the charging pad to the top, and we actually ended up re-drilling the hole. I thought they meant this middle hole. They mean the top hole, so it's a 3/8 drill bit. You know, drill it right underneath where the peg here goes. Run your wiring through it. Put your trim piece and then the charging pad over that trim piece. Tighten that down with the 4 provided screws. You guys can see them. They're silver in color, so those are 2, 3, and 4. And yeah, so you just put the pad in, make sure, I think there's 4 pins in it. It feels like there's 1 in each corner. Just make sure it's tightened down, and yeah, you're good to go. So what we got to do now is attach the power cable to, you know, these 2 cables, and then wire that through here, and then drill that hole that I was telling you about in this cup holder. I think we're going to drill it right about here. That way we can run the wire through there. All right, guys, we got the cup holder back installed. You can see the hole that we drilled. We ran the harness through it. We're going to run this harness up through here, and then any slack that we have, we will feed back through, you know, this harness back here. So now we're ready to put the T20 screws back in. There are 4 holding the trim piece, so this piece up here. There's also 3 holding the latch mechanism. So let's go ahead and get started on installing all these screws, and I think we should be wrapped up. All right, so we've gotten the electrical wire plugged in, we got the latch put back on, and now we're getting ready to put this back panel back on. And like we said earlier, all we gotta do is just basically push it into place. Then to get up and around the latch assembly, just squeeze this with your fingers or push the button in, either way. All right, guys, we have the bottom part of the lid put back on, and I did run the electrical wire through the passenger side channel here, and you guys can see we close without issue, opens without issue. So there is a little bit of a noise coming from the wire. I don't know if we just need to pull more slack, but you guys can kind of hear that. One solution for that would be you actually can take this panel back off and cut a little bit of a longer slit for that so that the wiring can fit through here. So that might be a change for the future, but I do have the radio on. You guys can see the red button is indicating that it's on, but it's not charging. Let's go ahead and put my cell phone on here. Put my Samsung S24. You guys can see it's charging. Is it fast charging? No, it's wireless charging. Oh, it is fast charging. Cool. So it is a fast wireless charger. You guys can see the little blue indicator light. And so yeah, that is gonna be a wrap on the Boost Auto cell phone charger, because if you guys look, you know, we've got one here, we've got one here. And the reason I wanted a second one is because we take this vehicle for road trips. My better half hates having a cell phone charger. Actually, it's right here. There's some wiring in there. And she wanted a wireless charger for herself. So Boost Auto hit us up, and that's kind of how this whole thing got started. So yeah, I now have 2 wireless chargers in the truck. And so yeah, that's gonna be a wrap on the cell phone charger from Boost Auto. Not too hard of an install, but you know, you just gotta take your time. And like I said, our install is a little bit unique just due to the fact that we have the auxiliary switches in there, and I had that jumper harness. So we tied into that instead of the factory, and yeah, just instead of using the jumper harness like we did, you would use the normal install and go from there. So we'd like to welcome Boost Auto as a partner to the channel. Hopefully we can do some future projects together. I do have one other modification that I want to get from them, and that is the Auto 4 High, or whatever you want to call it. Basically what it is your low beams would stay on, your high beams would stay on, and then your fog lights would stay on whenever you are tripping the high beams. So, because the way these cars are from the factory, as soon as you put the high beams on, I think the low beams may stay on, but the fogs turn off. So I kind of would prefer to have all of my lights on instead of things cutting off like they do from the OEM. So they've got a little harness for that. So hopefully we can do that for a future video for you guys. But yeah, that is one project I would like to do. So once again, I want to say thank you to Boost Auto. Without them reaching out, this project would have never happened, and we wouldn't have been able to welcome a new partnership to the channel. So again, thank you. Now, if you guys want to see hopefully future projects with them, hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications. Also, make sure you check out their website, boostauto.com. You know, like I said, they've got a bunch of stuff. They've got cell phone chargers, they've got mirrors, they've got electronics, they got all kinds of updates and stuff for the GMT 800 and present for the Chevrolets and GMCs. I'm not sure about the OBS stuff. I just don't follow those trucks all that often, but I also know they do support Ford and Dodge. And also make sure you check our website as well, BonecrrusherSS.com. Any contributions you can give there goes right back into the channel, these projects, you know, the truck, the Corvette, and it makes these partnerships possible. So that's gonna be it. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.